It's Friday, and that means another episode of Respawn in 30 on League Unlock. Eric and Mathos here bringing you the latest and, of course, the greatest in all things esports. And it's special day because MSI semifinals are underway. The group stage is behind us. Mathos is hyped. Everyone's hyped.
Ear to ear.
RNG and FNC, we're finally out of the EU LCS studios and at a real venue for an international event with more than 50 fans in the arena.
This crowd was going buck.
So that's amazing. And it's a Friday weekday in EU, and there were still a lot of fans though, so we're hyped for that. RNG FNC rematch of Worlds 2017 quarterfinals. Obviously, RNG heavy favorites in this one. Karsa getting the start over MLXG in the jungle, and we got Uzi on the Caitlyn, Reckless on Ezreal. This game was bloody. This whole series was bloody, especially the early game chaotic, but it was a good start for Fnatic in most of these games. You know, they're getting kills early, getting out to early leads. It was the late game team fights where things started not going quite as well.
Stay out of the Baron pit, boys.
Yeah.
20-minute TikTok and you lose every time.
This triple TP, they had 4 teleports in this game for RNG. That looked absolutely ridiculous, so many guys showing up on that ward. There were a lot of Baron dances, especially so early on. Neither team were really getting it because Baron does half your health instantly at 22 minutes. But eventually, Fnatic's getting ahead of it here. Then they want to try the Baron yet again, but RNG is still there. We are keeping up pace more than a kill a minute in this game, which is a rarity in these parts.
It's pretty sweet to watch like a different meta for a change massacre some people over and over and over again. Although, unfortunately for Fnatic, every time they got a kill, they never really converted it into any kind of meaningful objective, and that's not how you win games.
Yeah, they were getting so chunked out in all these fights that they couldn't really get anything. Later on these late game team fights, this dive comp was coming online for RNG. The Vladimir and Irelia were absolutely disgusting. I mean, they're flashing to try and save Reckless, but Vladimir just one-shots you, and then that's going to be a Baron for them. And this fight here, Irelia just goes absolutely insane. By the way, that was an Irelia mid for Zhao, who they flexed it at the last minute. Look at it. No one can peel him off of Reckless. He's just an unkillable machine destroying everyone.
He's going hard in the paint. And it's just, I wish I understood why they just didn't run this every single time.
Yeah, they had to ban the Irelia after this. Game 1 goes to RNG, but it was a close one. Fnatic looked good early on. Game 2, Irelia's banned. Caps is on the Aurelian Soul, and this kill, I don't know what Yahoo was doing. He just decided he wanted to die. But again, another solid early game for Fnatic. Caps flying all over the map, as you do with the Aurelian Soul. They actually had a couple thousand gold lead in this one, which is even more than Game 1. But 29 minutes in, it was when things started to change. But look at this early game for Fnatic. They're getting involved. Reckless is picking up kills, forcing flashes out of Uzi. He wasn't scared of them, which is what you saw on the group stage. He was clearly in his head, but not in this one.
They sat on Let Me the entire top lane, too. He didn't get any kind of love whatsoever during this game. And eventually, still took care of some business. Look at this monster, long range.
And that's the smite that steals. Karsa gets the steal on Broxa, who's been stealing smites the entire tournament. That was the game changer, over a 4,000 gold Baron power play, but Fnatic does hold up. They fight this 5v3 because they sent 2 to kill Bwipo in the bottom lane. They're gonna chase them down, and eventually Reckless nets a triple kill on the Ezreal. You know, Bwipo was having his way in the side lane in this one. Now it's 5v3, they catch out Broxa, and it's gonna be the Baron for RNG, but look at in that bottom lane, Bwipo is trying to end the game. He's on the Nexus turrets. He doesn't get the second one to go, but he was doing work in that split push game. He had a good game too.
He had a great game 3 as well. He was being absolutely annoying at every possible turn.
That's his specialty. That's another smite steal for Karsa, this time on the Elder Dragon. Rough 50-50s for the likes of Broxa. They're able to close it out with that Elder Dragon. But this game was looking so good for Fnatic until the Baron steal just completely changed things around. And then game 3, RNG says, we're up 2-0, let's throw MLXG back in. And we got a singed for Bwipo doing an impact cosplay. I love me some Singed. That's the most troll champion in the game. More proactive early game for Fnatic. And by the way, again, 3rd straight game, Ezreal for Reckless versus Uzi on Caitlyn. They ban Kai'Sa every game, which is a must-do. Didn't work in these first 2 games, but the Caps and Broxa duo were doing great in the 2v2 matchup, jungle mid. It was just kind of the same story as the other 2 games. A great early game for Fnatic. They're getting out to some decent leads with flash singed flings of all things, but then these late game team fights, it's where RNG came ahead, and Ming was fantastic on the Tahm Kench. Hylissang was inting in a lot of these games. He looked not good.
It's an odd situation, right? Because you're sitting here and you're like, oh, well, you know, maybe we'll get a team fight that we can actually accomplish. And in 1 or 2 instances, they managed to pull it off. Fortunately, they didn't manage to convert that into anything meaningful more than but once the entire series.
Yeah, Fnatic, I mean, the RNG basically did to Fnatic what Fnatic did to the entire EU LCS, just style on them in the late game team fights. But here, RNG goes so deep. I think they thought they were up 20,000 gold. They're just ignoring every single turret. Reckless goes untouched, finally gets to pop off in a team fight, triple kill, and chase it down. You know what it is? Last time Caps stole it, and then he stole one from Caps, but this time he gets the pentakill for him. Now he's fed on that Ezreal. But Caitlyn is a little stronger late game than the Ezreal, and that's kind of what you were seeing in a lot of these fights. Let me doing work on the Ornn again, his 2nd straight game on Ornn, and they actually catch out Uzi here, and it looks like it's a good fight for them. They pop the GA, but then Let Me comes in with the nasty Ornn ultimate, and again, Ming was just saving people throughout all these games on that Tahm Kench. What a counter to Skarner. Probably should have banned that too, but there were a lot of things that Fnatic had to ban. And yes, it's a 3-0 for RNG, but that's about as close to 3-0 as you're ever gonna see.
It ends up getting to that weird 20-25 minute where the entire script totally flips on Fnatic's head. And admittedly, you know, you expected Reckless, who's had having a rough tournament this entire run, to just swallow a gun in that bottom lane. And he actually did very well for himself, all things considered. Nobody really blew their brains out, but when they gave RNG an inch, they took that mile every single time.
Yeah, and they actually got some kills in the 2v2, which they were getting absolutely dumpstered in the group stage. So they looked a lot better in that regard. And listen, they were close fights. There were no blowouts in any of these 3 sets. And now you got actually a pretty interesting rivalry brewing between these 2 teams, because they play some barn burners with a lot of kills in this set and going back to last year's Worlds. You got a bit of a rivalry, especially with Reckless and Uzi. But don't be disappointed, Fnatic. There's a lot you can take from this heading into the summer split. And you still did better than NA. You got to the knockout stage.
Yeah, so you just got to learn how to close a match or 2, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, just work on that late game. And now they know that they can play through the early game and actually get advantages and win conditions through there, as opposed to just waiting for late game team fights. We'll see if they add that to their repertoire for 2018 summer.